ang Cebu.
The city of history and modernity. The land of heritage. Known for being the Queen City of the South. Today we travel on our very own Cebu City for us to get to know our heritage and culture. We're here to find out about the who, when, where, why, and how Cebu contributes to the beautiful history of the Philippines. So what more can you wish for? Join us in an ultimate journey to Cebu's famous heritage sites and explore the rich past with historic landmarks. Kaya, dare to wow!
Tara bay! Biyahe tayo!
Tara! The Magellan's Cross will always be the first thing that will cross into our mind. Magellan's Cross, from what I know, is termed as the cross which is planted by the conquistadors. Let's find out why.
Magellan's Cross is named after Fernão Magalhães, or what we all know as Ferdinand Magellan. Magellan was the first European to step here in the Philippines in 1521. Upon his arrival in Cebu, Humabon and his wife Joana befriended him and accepted Christianity together with 800 other Cebuano natives.
Visiting in Cebu will never be complete without passing by the historical relic which made the Philippines the largest Catholic country in Asia. Magellan's Cross commemorates the monument when Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan planted a wooden cross in soil in this exact location to mark the conversion of Cebuano locals to Christianity. So here at the Magellan Cross, the cross here is just a replica to the original one. The original cross is now encased to the wooden and inside a small chapel called kiosk. It means for protection, as it was believed to be miraculous and people keep chipping away its spikes.
The mural on the ceiling of the cross tells a brief history about the baptism of Cebuano natives.
Another interesting spot in Cebu is the Basilica Minor del Santo Niño. The church is just found behind the Magellan's Cross. Let's see what's inside.
The Basilica Minor del Santo Niño was built in 1565 by Miguel Lopez de Legazpi on the exact site where the image of the little Jesus was found. The first structure was destroyed by a fire on November 1, 1568 and was rebuilt in 1602.
The church is situated to the oldest church in the Philippines. The image of the Santo Niño is considered as the most religious relic in the Philippines. Magellan is said to have given this image to Queen Joana as a gift during her baptism on April 14, 1521.
The Pilgrim Center of Basilica del Santo Niño sits just across the entrance of the church. It is a large courtyard with concrete steps from left to right and a wide space in the center, enough for devotees and religious people to hold a grand mass.
Pilgrim is the starting point of the yearly Sinulog Festival, a widely popular celebration in honor of Santo Niño de Cebu, where millions and millions of devotees from all over the world come and attend. There, that open space there, the plaza is connection. Come, take a look. Welcome to Plaza Independencia.
Plaza Independencia is one of the most popular tourist attractions in the Queen City of the South. The plaza only has a 5-minute walking distance from Basilica del Santo Niño Church located between Fort San Pedro and Plaza del Gobierno de Visayas.
Plaza and the Residencia, formerly known as Plaza Lutan, is now a favorite park among Cebuanos, where families can have picnics, students and work breathe from the ever-stressful city, or where lovers meet. Many important events in our history from the pre-Hispanic, Spanish, American, and Japanese periods happened in here. This area was excavated by researchers and discovered that this was a pre-colonial trading port before called Cebu.
An obelisk here is dedicated to the memory of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, the first Governor General of the Philippines, which is planted as the very heart of the Plaza Independencia.
This is Fort San Pedro.
One of the city's historical attractions is Fort San Pedro, which is known as the smallest, oldest fort in the Philippines. It is located near Plaza Independencia in the Pier area of Cebu City.
Fort San Pedro was built by Spanish and Cebuano laborers as a military defense structure. They started building the fort on May 8, 1565, 11 days after Legazpi's arrival in Cebu.
Fort San Pedro first served as the core group of the first Spanish settlement in the Philippines, led by Miguel Lopez de Legazpi. It acts as a beatback when uncongenial natives and Muslim pirates blockaded the place. Afterwards, it became an educational classroom in 1937. In 1941, the fort served as prison camp and munitions for Japanese soldiers.
Today, Fort San Pedro is a museum park filled up with historical documents, artifacts, sculptures, paintings, century-old cannons, and a lot more. This place certainly shows the turbulent past of the fort and Cebu in general. Cebu Metropolitan Cathedral is the center of the Archdiocese of Cebu City. It was established as Diocese August 14, 1595 and became the Metropolitan Archdiocese on April 28, 1934 with its first Archbishop Gabriel M. Reyes.
Created in 1595, the construction of the structure was often interrupted due to lack of funds and other circumstances. The church was damaged during World War II. Because of this damage and recent renovations, nothing historical interior remains. However, the facade walls and bell tower from the 18th century remained. Parian Monument, located in the original Plaza Parian, showcases the significant and symbolic events in the history of Cebu, from the time of Raha Humabon to the recent beatification of Cebuano martyr Pedro Calungsod.
The monument in 1987 is made up of a larger-than-life colossal bronze and steel tableaus conceptualized by Eduardo Catrillo, who wanted to depict the very important events of Cebu's history in this work of art. The monument was purposely situated in Parian, Cebu City to highlight the area's important role in the country's history. Parian, which is near Colon Street, was the old China district in Cebu. Before this was a community where local Chinese and Spanish were engaged in a conversation.
The Cebu Parian Heritage Monument, situated in the middle of the street, becomes one of more recent additions to Cebu's attractions. It's a collection of beautifully crafted statues displaying the rich history of Cebu, a place where you can take pictures with a background that depicts a beautiful history.
At my back, you can see the Sanjio Ancestral House, one of the oldest preserved houses here in Cebu. Let's take a peek what's inside.
At the tip of the oldest street in the Philippines, we can find the Yap San Diego Ancestral House. The Ancestral House is only a few steps away from the Colon Obelisk.
We're now inside the Yap San Diego Ancestral. Would you believe that it is 300 years old now? So it is one of the oldest existing structural residential house here in the Philippines, built by a family of Chinese and merchants sometimes in the late 17th century. The house never had a makeover. As a matter of fact, the house, roof and wall were 95% original. It was also believed that this particular landmark was the oldest existing Chinese house outside China.
One of the three remaining old houses that dates back to the Spanish colonial period in the Tarian district of Cebu, the Casa Gallardo is a lifestyle museum that features altar pieces, antique furnishings, paintings, and relics that gives the guests a glimpse of the era that they haven't seen.
Rizal built the house, which became famous as the home of Juan Gorordo in the middle of the 19th century. 4 generations have stayed in this home, including the Spanish merchant Juan Gorordo.
In 1980, Ramon Abohis Foundation Incorporated acquired this home. After
After the restoration, the home was turned into a museum and opened to common people.
The Casa Gallardo Museum has been declared a National Historical Landmark by the virtue of National Historical Institute Board Resolution Number 4 dated September 24, 1991.
Would you believe that this museum was the old provincial jail during the American era? Really? Unbelievable! Dili katuhuan! Believe it or not, Museum Cebu was once a prison built in 1871 where criminals were incarcerated, including some Californios and Japanese occupation.
The century-old structure was conceived in 1870 by a Spanish architect in Cebu. It was called Cárcel de Cebu or Provincial Jail of Cebu, originally intended to be the main prison for the Visayas. It became Cebu City Jail from 1946 to 2004. It served its purpose until the provincial government built a much bigger prison. In a short time, former Governor Gwendolyn Garcia decided to turn it into a repository of Cebuano heritage and history. Thus, it is called Museo Cebu, meaning Museum of Cebu.
Time seems to have flies so fast as we are coming to an end our wonderful journey towards traveling Cebu City's heritage site. The whole day may be very exhausting, but everything was worth it as we were able to learn a lot about Cebu's rich history. Oh, can we go home now? I'm so exhausted. This ends our journey towards learning Cebu's culture and heritage. Until next time. But before we say goodbye, this has been Joana, Pauline, Simafranca. And this is Miraflores. Chona, Mangubat.
Jodel, Gasatan.
I'm Darah, Segismar. And Jackielyn Montecino, nga nag-istoryang